Yo, this is episode 104 of the Beef and Bitcoin podcast. Brett, dude, we recorded yesterday. It looks like we're going to be recording a lot more often if the price keeps going up.
At the present rate.
Yeah, it's and so last night we recorded. It was January 1st, New Year's Day. And we were waiting for the 30K break while we were recording, right?
Yeah, we were kind of talking like it's probably going to, it might, if we recorded for a longer time, it might break, but obviously it didn't.
Yeah, so wake up this morning I woke up and it was over 31 actually. So it really, I tried to stay up and watch it, and it got to 29,900, and then it didn't happen, and I was like, all right, forget it. I gotta go to sleep. Wake up to 31K, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of texts, a lot of DMs, big pimpin' meme, where's the Jay-Z meme? So I posted a bunch. I posted like 3 of those today, I guess.
You need to write a script or like some kind of script so it just like posts automatically each $1,000.
I know. I have a folder with up to I think they're up to like 50K or something. Oh shit, we're getting closer. I'm gonna need to make the rest of them. I pre-made them up to 50K if I remember correctly, but maybe after 50 we should go like every 5,000 and then
10K after 100.
People might get pissed, dude. People are like, I want to see every single one. They don't like. And the reason is because you can send each one, like you can DM it to your friends to be like, haha, like, it's still going up. So I might get stuck making like all of them. So which is like, I don't feel like doing that, but I guess if the people want it, I have to do it.
No, this is the Facemelt period, and maybe I'm wrong, but like this is the there's no other way to describe it. Facemelt. I mean, like, I was talking to you earlier. Like, this is the largest 2-week candle ever. Granted, it still has about 29 hours till it closes, but it's a $9,600 candle, which is huge. For instance, the largest candle before, which is December of 2017, the first week or whatever, basically that 2-week candle was $7,700 at the end. So this one's just dwarfing it. I mean, it's an additional $2,000.
I wonder what the largest percentage increase candle was for a 2-week candle.
I'm sure it's pretty ridiculous. No, I'm sure it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like there's the November of 2013, 147%.
Oh yeah, that one.
No, like things can get ridiculous. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just comparing it to the largest like dollar.
Yeah,
number.
Like in absolute dollar terms.
Nominal terms or whatever. So
well, honestly, people need to get ready for like $10,000 daily candles and then $10,000 hourly candles.
No, yeah, I hate. Yeah, it's very much a realistic possibility if the like whole sell side just disappears.
And that's the thing. The sell side's pretty much gone. I mean, my friend said my friend has Bitcoin on Robinhood, and he's like, oh, well, I don't want to leave it on Robinhood. So I want to like sell it on Robinhood and then buy it back somewhere else. I was like, I don't think it's even worth, you might as well just leave it in Robinhood at that point, especially in a bull market. Like wait until the bear market, at least, if you're going to like re-maneuver yourself.
Can you not send it from Robinhood, or what's the deal with that?
No, you can't withdraw from Robinhood. So it's just like holding cash. But I mean, maybe if you keep your position long enough, maybe they'll offer withdrawals eventually. Yeah.
I would imagine, but it's Robinhood.
It's still early. PayPal doesn't.
I have low expectations for Robinhood. I think that I don't think they added stops in their platform until like 2019. I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy.
So for like 5 or 6, I don't know how many years it's been in existence. Like 5 or 6 probably.
I've been using Robinhood since 2017. I think I started using Robinhood.
Yeah, and I think it's been around for 5 or 6 years. So for 4 or 5 years, if not more, of its existence, there was no such thing as a stop order. Like that's insane. Like that is a system meant for failure.
That's one of the things that I don't like about Robinhood is if that's like your typical retail investor, someone coming in who just wants to, I don't know, invest a little bit. I can see why some of the different features of like a traditional exchange can be confusing for like a noob.
Oh yeah, no. 100%.
So like, but at the same time, not having the features like Like it'd be great if you could have a stop or like limit orders and stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean
set
they
stops.
had limit orders and market orders. It just there was no such thing as a stop. But
Well, yeah, I mean that plus retail noobs is like not a good. If you look at that chart from,
the
if
Angelo
you look from,
BTC, this one.
no, what you just had up, we can talk about that in a second.
Okay,
But just look from October to like now. If you would have asked me at the beginning of October what was going to happen, I would have said, oh, probably like sideways for the rest of the year. That would have been my guess. And instead, we took off from there and we never really looked back. Yeah. And I remember in October, as it was taking off and like starting to, head towards 11, 12, 13, everybody was waiting for 10K again. And we never saw it. And I think that's just like a reminder to the listeners, like sometimes when it goes and moves, it's called the never look back price. Like you'll just never see it again. It doesn't become obvious until hindsight, right? Now you're like, it's like, oh yeah, shit, I wish I would have dumped all my money at 10K and just like let it go. But sometimes you don't get those chances back. So
no, I was just gonna say something. That March dump, basically all it did, like it was a good point that was mentioned, I think, by Angela in one of his comments, was basically something about basically just wrecked the whole like long side. Obviously leveraged, but anyone on the long side just completely nuked everyone and reset everything from here. Certain people who wanted to get, obviously part of it was the COVID thing, but like, so people, it was a fresh set of people getting positioned to, whoever it was, whether institutions, larger retailer, traders, etc.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing that wiped out everything, and that was like a fresh start because, I mean, was it Mustap Murad and Willie Wu's fund just got completely nuked, and again, it just goes. I'm going to cut you off, but it just goes to show, like, no matter what you think is going to happen next, you never know.
You're making such a good point. Like I didn't see that coming. I remember that day like it was yesterday, and I think that's a good, just a reminder to anybody listening. Like, don't mess around with leverage. If you're just interested in Bitcoin and you're really a noob and retail trader, stuff like that, probably to start, just think about set it and forget it, stack your sats and let it go, right? Don't even think about it. But if Murad if there were a circuit breaker or something like that, and they could have held for one more day, think about how much they'd be up. All they had to do was make it 24 more hours, and it basically started from there. Like the bull run started the day.
I'm just
after
curious
that.
where they bought, where they built their position from, because
I think they were at like 6K. I think they went like levered long at 6K, but in 2020, or maybe it was 9. I forget it. It was a long time ago now, dude.
Yeah, no, so it might have been this December bottom here, and I'm sure it might have been like you said, like 6K or 7K. So someone like here, maybe they left it long, and they felt like geniuses at probably 10K, and then the whole COVID thing nuked them. I mean, look at that.
That's why
38% candlestick down, and it really was more than that. We basically went down 50% in the course of like. I'm going to the hours.
24 hours.
Not even, dude. It was so quick. It's so bad how quick it was. No, you're right. Basically a day, 24 hours. 50%.
It was basically like exactly 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, a little over 50%. Everything wiped out and a fresh beginning.
And that's something.
And that beginning was choppy.
You
remember the beginning was real choppy, that whole time, and because everyone was still questioning whether we'd ever get out of the COVID thing, at that point, like at all.
Right. Yeah, that was the darkest of days. Yeah, dude. Everybody says like
of days.
It was.
Interesting.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
Yeah.
And I remember even in February, you and I were talking. I guess we recorded it like that first kind of dump. I almost can't believe this is where we are today after all that. Well, I really just didn't see this coming.
On the move. Never mind. I'm curious if this is gonna break out over speaking. Like $50 in a minute stick. Like, come on. Like it's just number go up time.
So do you think there's just no Bitcoin for sale?
I mean, just look at order books.
No, but I mean, like, how high does it need to go to start dragging people out? Like, all right, I'll sell you some here, I'll sell you some there. I mean,
That's a good question, and I
I
think
don't know.
like
I
big
think there's
round.
a lot
Okay,
of people who aren't selling. A
well,
lot of
I
people
would
decided okay, they're
let
not
me.
selling
I'm
this
gonna take the
cycle.
other side of that. Not really devil's advocate, just because. Okay, think about this. There's a lot of probably wealthy people that have bought in positions who have people that either manage the money or whatever, and they will always whatever it is. I don't know if take profit's the correct way to put it, but scale out and stuff like that. Like get your
Yeah,
original coop back the original money type of thing.
yeah,
Especially as it keeps going up like this. I mean, when you're talking like a $5 million position and you bought at 10K and now that 5 million has become 15, but they've probably been scaling out over time. So maybe it's only like a $8 million position now because they've scaled out over half of it or something. But they've made a whatever. You get what I mean? Like
yeah.
because
I do know what you mean. I'm
this
just
is
not
there's
sure.
nominal because like I think a lot of times we think of percentage terms in terms of trading and stuff like that. But when you're talking like millions and millions of dollars and stuff like that, and very large position, when you're talking about nominal terms, something goes up 100% and originally was a $10 million position. You might start scaling out at that point. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
It depends if how much demand there is to rebalance. I think a lot of people aren't going to rebalance,
Well,
or they're
I
just going
wouldn't
to
say
wait.
it depends on who it is. Is my point. You know what I mean? Like it depends on who's.
Yeah, like I'm thinking in large terms, like I'm thinking a ton of money that's going into GBTC. They have a 6 month lockup period anyway before they can do anything with it. Like I feel like the new positions are the ones that's like, all right, let's get this position in there, and I think they're going to add to it. I don't know if it's like we're just buying it once and then, they're going to try to time it or something like that. I think a lot of this is like their first long-term position that they're going to hold for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that. I'm just saying
We're
like
going to find out, right? We're
we'll
going to
find
know in
out.
filings if MicroStrategy sells any, if Square sells any,
And you
if
also have to remember
Mass Mutual.
there's obviously right now there's more demand than there are there's more buyers than there are sellers right now is what
Right, right.
the simplest way to put it is there's more buyers than there are sellers right now. So no matter who is selling into it, there's such a large buy wall or demand of whether it's just a few people or a lot of people. Obviously, probably a lot of people now, but
Yeah, like
it's there eating away anything that's selling into it. Anyone who's selling, it's just getting bought.
right, and from what I hear, miners are doing their best to hold as much coin as possible, to hold back the selling, which I get, right? If you're a miner and your margins are already super thin, like it doesn't really get more competitive than the mining industry. So if you can hang on to those coins, I mean, what's for sale? I don't know anymore.
And you can see the walls here individually. So at each 100, grouping here, if you're watching, you can see, how many contracts. So, and each contract here is equal to $1. So 11 million is 11 million, 11.6. So that's just for instance. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what it gets to here. If we start moving, I mean, if we see 50K in a week or two, that's going to be pretty mind numbing for people. Because that's the halfway point to 100K, and that's the
Yeah,
next big. I mean, 40K will be a big deal, but really 50K is the next, and that's really not far
yeah,
away.
yeah. 40K is interesting. It's 100% up from 20K. The numbers are just getting really big in absolute terms, but in percentage terms, yeah, 20 to 40K, 100% move. It's like almost yawn. But
This might be the largest daily stick too ever. Like in nominal
the
terms, this really might be. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be like the largest. Dude, look at this, thirty eight
yeah, that
hundred.
is
That's gonna be the largest. $3,800. So
yeah, it's a
I
big candle.
Lord only knows what happens for the next like few days. People don't know
Yeah,
that we're
that's
gonna get that.
scary.
We're gonna hit 40K. Watch. We'll close this at like 35. But then we'll go to 40K tomorrow. Monday we'll on the weekly open we'll fucking pop to like 50 or something.
Yeah,
It's gonna be retarded.
yeah. It,
That's-
it actually,
I hate to use that word, but that's the only word to describe it.
as much as I try not to get like too moon boyish with
Moon
this stuff,
boy.
it also seems like this just happened within the last 2 weeks. We've gone from pretty much like what 15K to 33K. It has not been that much time, and the market, like the signal was already sent out to the market. So how many institutional investors, other high net worth individuals that were getting ready to dip their toe, and now boom, it's up.
It's face melting.
Huge in a couple of weeks. They haven't even figured out what they're going to do yet, which exchange they're going to use, who they want to do their custody. Like it takes time. Like they haven't even had time to react. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it's still going to take a couple more weeks for money to even start flowing in. Like I feel like this is more the beginning of when volume will really pick up, and you're like, oh, holy shit.
I know Ethereum's shitcoin, but it could get interesting here soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got 50% of the way to go, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, after seeing what Bitcoin did, I have a pretty good feeling this will just be like a massive pump through. Again, lagging. Yeah. I'll look at Litecoin, and it's probably going to look pretty similar. Like Litecoin's still pretty far behind, but that's, again, I know this is shitcoin land, but this whole thing's about to just get nuts. And obviously this is just the as we talk about the end output of printing of money. This is where it's going. This money is, money doesn't choose where it goes. I mean, it just finds its way. It's dispersed and it goes. And you're pumping trillions of dollars. It's indifferent is the way to put it.
Yeah, it makes its way to where it's treated best. And, if Bitcoin's better money for some people, it's going to make its way there. And it seems like more and more people are becoming less skeptical about it. What?
We fell $81.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because the percentages are so small. When you're looking at this chart here, I guess this is 1 minute. It looks like it's just wants to keep going. But it's funny. It's unbelievable when Bitcoin kind of gets going, it really goes. And it's like this whole time I posted this meme that somebody else had made. It was a great one. It was from Office Space, and he was like, I was told there would be pullbacks. Milton. He was like, I was told there would be pullbacks, and I was crying, dude. Yeah. It was so funny. And it's true, because the whole time you're like, you think Bitcoin, the whole bear market, it goes up, and you're like, oh, here comes the pullback, and inevitably it does.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it's switched to bull time, and it's like, all right, I'm just waiting for that pullback, and it just makes you look foolish and keeps going up. I've never lived through from bear to bull, right? So I wasn't in from like 2016 into 2017. Although depending upon how you look at it, the 2017 bull market actually started in like the beginning of 2016. It just ran that whole time.
If you really want to say, you could say it started here.
Yeah, like summer 2015 is when it started. That's a better way to put it. So it's like only gone up for you. And now, after having lived through a bear, it's like, all right, we're at the bull now. How high can it go, and how fast, and what do pullbacks look like? Because there's bigger money in the space now. It's the whole time we saw like muted 10% pullbacks on this big, this big move so far, and it's just been getting bid up and bid up. There's a lot more buyers than sellers right now.
You just never know what's going to happen. And you can see even here, just looking at the price action here. I mean, every down hit here is just getting eaten up. And even if you don't go up, there's buyers there they're buying everything up that goes down. And obviously we hit a certain point where it's just like take off at 30K. And again, what I was talking about yesterday when we recorded, 30, it's a psychological number. So when we hit 30K, it's just take off, because all people are like, oh shit, 30,000. And again, 40,000 will be another, because it's another $10,000. But 50K is really going to be that big psychological point, because people are going to look at it and be like, well, what's stopping it from 100K? They're like, I want to get in before 100K because I don't want to be late.
And the other thing is, I think 54,000 is the $1 trillion market cap figure as well. So that is a humongous mental barrier. Not even just
is that obviously just the Bitcoin market cap?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I mean,
that's
that's a different ballgame. You know, there's some institutions that can't invest in assets that aren't $1 trillion in market cap.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just now starting to open its doors to other players who couldn't have even had been interested if they wanted to. So, 50,000, huge psychological barrier, that 53, 54 range, that $1 trillion market cap, humongous milestone. Uh, you know, a digital meme currency is about to be worth $1 trillion in market cap, and it's undervalued even then, in my opinion.
It's 10 trillion. Is that your fair number currently, or is it higher? We go
Yeah, I
higher.
mean, for like 2021.
I don't know. What's your fair number in the?
It's so hard because like it's really easy to throw out like 100K for 2021, right? But like I don't know, that's like not that far away anymore.
No, it
Um,
isn't.
that's that's like kind of a chip shot, and I think that's like a cheap
It's a chip
like answer
shot.
to throw out there. But it's hard because obviously, if we were recording this 6 months ago, and I said, yeah, man, 100,000. You and I would be like, oh, that's reasonable. But other people would be like, dude, are you out of your mind? Like people didn't, my coworker was hoping for 25K by summer 2021. And here we are at 33K, like 5 days later or whatever.
Did
Like
he
the last
or
time we talked.
she shit a brick?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're definitely excited. They've got a nice little bag. So, but they've never experienced the full bull where it can just really take off. I think his expectations and price targets for a new
What's
person
their
are
average buy-in?
really, really low. Like in like March, he got more.
Okay,
He
so
like under 4,000. I think his average is insane. It's way better than mine. Way better
wow.
than mine. But
So you just bought the whole lot, then?
he just barely dipped his toe. The guy's like in his early 40s. He's an investor, owns real estate, like keeps a really nice cash balance. Like he always has money to invest, but he said he would have bought like 20 coins at under 4,000. I was like, yeah, shit, that would have been a nice fucking purchase for sure.
That would have been nice.
But coulda, shoulda, woulda. He's
It's
like,
all-
I can't believe it's at 30,000, and now he's like probably done buying. Whereas I was trying to tell him, I'm like, if you think about it more like a savings thing, and you think it's going really high, like in hindsight, you'll have been happy you bought at 30 or 33 or whatever. It's if you're thinking about it from like
you gotta
saving.
be able to stomach if you buy at 30K and it goes back to 20,
right, exactly.
25 or 23, and then then it goes to 40, and then it goes back to 35, and then it goes to 60. Like that's hard for people to stomach.
It's really tough. It's a whole different mindset, and I think
unless you live in a time of like very high inflation, I think it's hard for people to adapt to something else like that. Like their dollar, to them, it's very stable, and relatively it is. Like obviously it's losing its value. I've said it a gazillion times. The dollar's down whatever it is, 99%. So, since the creation of the Federal Reserve, and it's been plummeting since, we delinked from gold. But point is, it's definitely a little more stable in the sense that you can go out and buy stuff, and it's more liquid currently in some senses.
Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. And I think its volatility is something that needs to,
what happens?
Sell off. No. Now this will actually
so
be interesting.
so think about this.
How
We just
quickly
fell.
it
Wait,
gets bought up.
we just fell about $550, and that's 1.7%. 1.7.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. The headlines for journalists are going to be like, Bitcoin crashes $2,000, and it's like a 2%.
Yeah, that's what's going to fuck with people. This is like, oh my god, Bitcoin fell $3,000, and it's like, yeah, that's like 10% move right now. That'd be like people saying when Amazon falls 10%, they lose their minds.
I might buy the dip a little bit live.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do
Don't
it.
Do it.
Buying the dip live so I can be a good Bitcoiner.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Let's see. I can't have low time frame open because this happens. But I think it's starting to affect the candle a little bit. So it is, yeah, it's kind of chipping in a bit. Oh, and see, like now it just moves like ridiculous amounts. It's not even like reasonable. This minute candlestick is $240, or it was. Yeah, I mean, if this is a good way to wrap it up into the red, to leave it as a good mysterious end.
Yeah, this is a good way to end it mysteriously. You'll have. Yeah, this was
104.
This was episode 104. Yeah, 104. We're gonna hopefully do another. Let's try to bang out 100 episodes this year. Let's see if we can keep up the pace. It'll probably be easier during a bull market because it's fun talking about it during a bull market. Who doesn't like talking about it?
I really hope we didn't mark the top, the local topics.
We might have, dude. That would be pretty
sad.
Nah, that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal.
That'd be our luck. But thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy us. A little bit shorter episode, but it's 104 and we're marching our way to 200, I guess, now. See you on the flip side. Peace.
All right, later.